Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for accommodating me at today's committee hearing and for allowing me to ask these questions. As a frequent air traveler and a former union member, I want to thank the flight attendants, pilots, ground crews, and the aviation unions for the work that they do every day, keeping our aviation system running and safely getting millions of Americans to their destinations. I'm deeply concerned with the large increases in air rage and assaults on flight attendants and other aviation workers since the pandemic started. Every person deserves a safe, harassment-free workplace. I want to thank the witnesses for appearing today and their enlightening testimony. I look forward to working with them and the committee to address this important issue. I have questions that I'd like to ask of Ms. Nelson and Mr. Andrews. I'd like to follow up on a question posed by Congressman Hank Johnson. What more needs to be done to specifically make sure that flight attendants of color who may be disproportionately facing more air rage and other discrimination are safe in working environments?
Eddie, would you like to start? Okay, so let me just start here. What happens in our communities comes to our aircraft. And the more that we can do to lift up people of color, to make sure that there is a place at the table, to make sure that there is a recognition of the struggles that people are facing simply because of the color of their skin. I will tell you that as we were going to work in the wake of the George Floyd murder, that there were many flight attendants who were concerned about even traveling to work. And they were concerned about that before they even got there. And then when they get to work, they are facing incredible discrimination that none of us can imagine if you haven't faced it before. Some of the airlines are doing a very good job of having town halls lifting this up. I would say, actually, I've been recently made aware of the actions of American Airlines to hold these town halls to make it very specific that the airline is focused wholeheartedly on addressing the issues of diversity and inclusion, of giving the opportunity for people of color to tell their stories at the airline about what they face and have other people hear that and hear the difficulties, the microaggressions that they face at work. And when they have the backing of everyone at the airline and know that those issues are going to be taken seriously, they are more likely to report, there is more likely to be follow-up action, and other people are more likely to understand that when you are disrespecting someone because of their gender or their race or because of the way that they identify, that is unacceptable. And there's a zero tolerance approach from the airline to addressing that. That needs to be taken as seriously as any other violation at the airline. And so I would lift up what American has been doing. I would say I've seen it at other airlines too. They all have diversity and inclusion programs, but more could be done to have these public conversations about what people of color are facing at work.
Thank you.
I too, thank you for that question, Representative Garcia. I think I would echo wholeheartedly what my colleague, Ms. Nelson, just said. The airline is taking specifically, American Airlines has taken steps towards making sure that there is diversity, equity, and inclusion conversations happen. And the APFA has just instituted a diversity, equity, and inclusion team, which I am now chairing. So we're having conversations, and those conversations are having. Should there be more conversations? Yes. Clear expectations on behaviors and some possible consequences for those. When we're talking about air rage that knows no color, right? It doesn't discriminate. But unfortunately, there are cases where race and other disparaging remarks or comments are being made towards flight attendants of color, and just conversations, more conversations and more dialogue between the airline and all of our counterpartners would help.
Thank you so much. My time has just about run out, so I'm going to yield back to the chair. Thank you.